Hello my lovelies, today I have another book haul for you, so stay tuned. So I want to start out by saying I am sorry if you can hear my fan running, but my air conditioner decided to stop working today and we can't get anybody out till tomorrow. So we're making do with what we've got. I have 19 books here to show you and I am so excited about these books. Oh my goodness. So we have a couple pre-orders. We have some Amazon orders. I have a couple of books that I picked up from the little honor bookstore at the airport. And I have one that was an early birthday gift. And then I have some ARCs. And then I have some other books that I purchased at Y'all West. So let's start with the pre-orders. The first one I have here is She Gets the Girl by Rachel Lippincott and Allison Derrick. And this says, Alex Blackwood is a little bit headstrong with a dash of chaos and a whole lot of flirt. She knows how to get the girl. Keeping her, on the other hand, not so much. Molly Parker has everything in her life totally in control, except for her complete awkwardness with just about anyone besides her mom. She knows she's in love with the impossibly cool Cora Myers. She just hasn't actually talked to her yet. Alex and Molly don't belong on the same planet, let alone the same college campus. But when Alex, fresh off of a bad, but hopefully not permanent breakup, discovers Molly's hidden crush as their paths cross the night before classes start, they realize they might have a common interest after all. Because maybe if Alex helps Molly learn how to get her dream girl to fall for her, she can prove to her ex that she's not a selfish flirt, that she's ready for an actual commitment. And while Alex is the last person Molly would ever think she could trust, she can't deny Alex knows what she's doing with girls, unlike her. As the two embark on their 5-step plan to get their girls to fall for them, though, they both begin to wonder if maybe they're the ones falling for each other. And this sounds so cute. Okay, next up we have She Drives Me Crazy by Kelly Quinlan. And this says, after an embarrassing loss to her ex-girlfriend in their first basketball game of the season, 17-year-old Scotty Sajic gets into a fender bender with the worst possible person, her nemesis, Irene Abraham, head cheerleader for the Fighting Reindeer. Irene is as mean as she is beautiful, so Scotty makes a point to keep her distance. When the accident sends Irene's car to the shop for weeks worth of repairs and the girls are forced to carpool, the rocky start only gets bumpier. But when an opportunity arises for Scotty to get back at her toxic ex and climb her school social ladder, she bribes Irene into an elaborate fake dating scheme that threatens to reveal some very real feelings. And this sounds so good. This makes me think of, it's like an 80s or 90s movie and it's like Money Can't Buy Me Love. That's what it makes me think of. Okay, then the next 4 books here are a part of a series. They all go together and I ordered these, I think I ordered them all off of Amazon. So I have Crave by Tracy Wolff. So I have Crave, Court, Covet, and Crush. And I'll tell you what Crave says because I know this one's the first book. My whole world changed when I stepped inside the academy. Nothing is right about this place or the other students in it. Here I am, a mere mortal among gods or monsters. I still can't decide which of these warring factions I belong to, if I belong at all. I only know the only thing that unites them is their hatred of me. Then there's Jackson Vega, a vampire with deadly secrets who hasn't felt anything for 100 years. But there's something about him that calls to me, something broken in him that somehow fits with what's broken in me. Which could spell death for us all, because Jackson walled himself off for a reason, and now someone wants to wake a sleeping monster, and I'm wondering if I was brought here intentionally as the bait. Dun dun dun. Okay, now to move on to this pile. So, as I said, these top 3 books here are ones that I got from the little bookstore in my airport here. It's that you can buy books really cheap. It's actually like something from the library, and they're used books. So the first one I have is Listen to Your Heart by Casey West. This says, call me maybe. Talking to other people isn't Kate Bailey's favorite activity. She'd much rather be out on the lake soaking up the solitude and sunshine. So when her best friend Alana convinces Kate to join their high school's podcast, Kate is not expecting to be chosen as the host. Now she'll have to answer calls from listeners and give advice on the air. Impossible. But to Kate's surprise, she turns out to be pretty good at hosting. Then the podcast gets a call from an anonymous guy asking for advice about his unnamed crush. Suddenly, Kate finds that while doling out wisdom to others may be easy, asking for help is tougher than it looks, and following your own advice is even harder. Full of the witty banter and adorableness that have garnered Casey West legions of fans, this story of secrets, love, and friendship will win over hearts everywhere. And Casey West books are just super cute. Next, I have another Casey West, and that is Lucky in Love. And this one says, Can't Buy Me Love. It's funny because I just mentioned that movie. This says, Maddie's not impulsive. She's all about hard work and planning ahead. But one night, on a whim, she buys a lottery ticket, and then to her astonishment, she wins. In a flash, Maddie's life is unrecognizable. No more stressing about college scholarships. Suddenly, she's talking about renting a yacht, and being in the spotlight at school is fun until rumors start flying, and random people begin asking her for loans. Now Maddie isn't sure who she can trust. Except for Seth Wynn, her funny, charming coworker at the local zoo. Seth doesn't seem aware of Maddie's big news, and for some reason she doesn't want to tell him. But what will happen if he learns her secret? With tons of humor and heart, Casey West delivers a $1 million tale of winning, losing, and falling in love. And this sounds so cute. And then I also got Becoming by Michelle Obama. And this says, an intimate, powerful, and inspiring memoir by the former First Lady of the United States. When she was a little girl, Michelle Robinson's world was the south side of Chicago, where she and her brother Craig shared a bedroom in their family's upstairs apartment and played catch in the park, and where her parents, Fraser and Marion Robinson, raised her to be outspoken and unafraid. But life soon took her much further afield from the halls of Princeton, where she learned for the first time what it felt like to be the only black woman in a room, to the glassy office tower where she worked as a high-powered corporate lawyer, and where one summer morning a law student named Barack Obama appeared in her office and upended all her carefully made plans. Here, for the first time, Michelle Obama describes the early years of her marriage as she struggles to balance her work and family with her husband's fast-moving political career. She takes us inside their private debate over whether he should make a run for the presidency and her subsequent role as a popular but oft-criticized figure during his campaign. Narrating with grace, good humor, and uncommon candor, she provides a vivid behind-the-scenes account of her family's history-making launch into the global limelight, as well as their life inside the White House over 8 momentous years, as she comes to know her country and her country comes to know her. Becoming takes us through modest Iowa kitchens and ballrooms at Buckingham Palace, through moments of heart-stopping grief and profound resilience, bringing us deep into the soul of a singular, groundbreaking figure in history as she strives to live authentically, marshaling her personal strength and voice in service of a set of higher ideals. In telling her story with honesty and boldness, she issues a challenge to the rest of us. Who are we, and who do we want to become? Oh, love it. So yes, happy to have that. And then my mom actually got me this like early birthday gift. She saw somebody on Facebook, I believe, selling this for only $5. And that was Green Lights by Matthew McConaughey. And I've had this on my wish list for so long. My mom and I, we listened to the audiobook of this together, and pictures of him, and I really wanted to have the physical book because I wanted to be able to like see the things that he was describing and stuff in here. And this is a nonfiction. It's about the green lights that he's had in his life, and you know what he decided to do with it, and just the opportunities and things that he embraced and went for. And he is such an interesting person. And if you haven't read this, I highly recommend it. If you haven't listened to the audiobook, I highly recommend it. Matthew McConaughey narrates it himself, and it is just so incredibly entertaining, and he is quite the character. Okay, next up are the books that I got from Y'all West as ARCs. So the first one is How Maya Got Fierce by Sona, hold on, Sharapotra. And yeah, the back is just blank. I think it says inside what the book's about. It says, she may have been raised as a California farm girl, but 17-year-old Maya's vision board is all about fashion and fierce. The New York City women's magazine she's been reading since she was 10. As the oldest daughter of Punjabi garlic farmers, though, her path is set and it's off to cow camp for the summer. When she lands in the New York City area, Maya learns that her cousin's girlfriend works at Fierce and realizes that her wildest dreams might just be in reach. She scores a coveted internship interview and gets an offer, but accepting the position would mean secretly quitting cow camp and rejecting her parents' plans for her. One other major glitch, Maya's bosses at Fierce think she's 26, hire her as an assistant editor, not an intern. Oops. Maya is well on the way to making her dreams come true, even if the glam life at Fierce isn't quite as shiny and fun as she hoped. When she suggests the perfect candidate for a big story and manages to get the scoop, all eyes are on her. How long can Maya keep her real age from her boss and her real life from her parents? And this sounds like so much fun. And who wouldn't want to do that over cow camp? I mean, come on. Okay, next up we have We Deserve Monuments by Jazz Hammonds. This says, when her mother uproots her from DC to Bardell County, Georgia to care for the terminally ill grandmother she barely knows, 17-year-old Avery Anderson is convinced her senior year is ruined. The tension between her mother and Mama Letty makes for a hostile and unwelcoming arrival. And Avery can't help feel ashamed of how little she knows the black side of her family. As she learns more about Mama Letty and her family history, Avery begins to feel torn about whose side she should take in the brewing family drama. The only saving grace is her cute next-door neighbor, Simone, who takes Avery under her wing. But when Avery and Simone's friendship blossoms into something deeper, Avery uncovers decades-old secrets that have been brewing for generations and threaten to topple the new life she's built in Bardell County. Then I have The Summer of Bitter and Sweet by Jen Ferguson. So we actually met this author while standing in line at Y'all West, and she had earrings on that matched. I think she said her editor or somebody or her publisher made the earrings for her, and she was wearing them at Y'all West. I didn't end up getting this ARC, but somebody gave this ARC to my friend Drew, and Drew gave it to me, and I'm very excited. This says, Lou is dealing with enough complications under the roof of her family's ice cream shack this summer. But when she gets a letter from her white biological father, a man she hoped would stay behind bars for the rest of his life, Lou knows that he poses a danger to her and her family, unless she can face him down. In this complex and emotionally resonant novel about a Métis girl living on the Canadian prairies, debut author Jen Ferguson serves up a powerful story about rage, secrets, and all the spectrums that make up a person, and the sweetness that can still live alongside the bitterest truth. And then I have The Stars Did Wonder Darkling by Colin Malloy, and this one is middle grade. Maybe Archie Coombs has been watching too many horror movies. All of a sudden, the most ordinary things have taken on a sinister edge. A penny on a doormat, a man in a brown suit under a street lamp, the persistent sound of an axe chopping in the middle of the night. He keeps telling himself that this is Seaham, a sleepy seaside town where nothing ever happens, or at least nothing did, until his dad's construction company opened up the cliff beneath the old, some say cursed, Langdon place. Soon, though, he and his friends can't deny it. More and more of the adults in town are acting strangely, An ancient, long-buried evil has been unleashed upon the community, and it's up to the kids to stop it before it's too late. And it says on the back here, a thrilling, atmospheric horror from the New York Times best-selling author of the Wildwood Chronicles. Fast-paced horror in the vein of Stranger Things, Colin returns to Oregon in this new tale set in the late 80s. And yeah, this sounds like fun. And then the last arc that I got is Nothing More to Tell by Karen M. McManus. And this one says, keep your friends close and your secrets closer. 5 years ago, Bryn left St. Ambrose School following the shocking murder of her favorite teacher, a story that made headlines after the teacher's body was found by 3 St. Ambrose students in the woods behind their school. The case was never solved. Now that Bryn is moving home and starting her dream internship at a true crime show, she's determined to find out what really happened. The kids who found Mr. Larkin are her way in, and her ex-best friend Trip Talbot was one of them. Without his account of events, the other 2 kids might have gone down for Mr. Larkin's murder, but instead, thanks to Trip, they're now at the top of the St. Ambrose social pyramid. His friends have never forgotten what Trip did for them that day, and neither has he. Just like he hasn't forgotten that everything he told the police was a lie. Digging into the past is bound to shake up the present, and as Bryn begins to investigate what happened in the woods that day, she uncovers secrets that might change everything. About St. Ambrose, about Mr. Larkin, and about her ex-best friend Trip Talbot. 5 years ago, someone got away with murder. The most terrifying part is that they never left. Okay, and then these next books are ones that I purchased on my own at Y'all West. So I think these first 3 are self-published, I do believe. And I totally got them because of the name, and I got them signed by the author. So the first one is Felony Melanie in the Big Smash Up. This is by Douglas J. E. Bach and Chris Bach. These are based on the characters from the movie Sweet Home Alabama, which I love that movie. Apparently he wrote the original screenplay for the movie Sweet Home Alabama, starring Reese Witherspoon, and so he's continuing that story, or maybe this is a prequel to that, I think, actually. But I mean, come on. It's called Felony Melanie, and he actually signed it to the real Felony Melanie. Love it. Okay, I just looked, and this is actually the second book in the series. The first book is Felony Melanie in Pageant Pandemonium. These are the teenage adventures of Felony Melanie. So cute. This says, big city, big glamour, big trouble. Before Melanie Schmuter became hot fashion designer Melanie Carmichael, she was known as Felony Melanie, the teenage troublemaker of Pigeon Creek, Alabama. Aching to escape the boredom of small-town life, she gets into many reckless adventures. Her boyfriend Jake is always by her side, and the local sheriff is usually close behind. When Melanie qualifies for the Miss Alabama Princess Pageant Southern Regional, the first prize scholarship could be her ticket out of Pigeon Creek. But can a trailer trash girl outshine the snooty debutantes? Meanwhile, Jake and his friends suspect someone is sabotaging the pageant. They try to follow the clues, but it isn't easy when everyone dismisses you as redneck kids. Melanie needs to prove herself on stage. Jake and the gang need to make sure she gets the chance. Can they show they're more than what people see on the surface? And these are just, they sound so cute. And they're really short too. Though the writing is quite small. And there's no page numbers. Well, I don't know if this is how many pages it actually is, but on Goodreads, the Kindle edition says it's 162 pages, so short books. And he had a deal, I can't remember how much exactly they were. I want to say they were either $10 each or $15 each. I think they were, I want to say they were $10 each, or you could get all 3 of his books for $25, and I got all 3, but at the time I didn't realize that it wasn't 3 Felony Melanie books. It was 2 Felony Melanie and then this other one. But this other one, I'm really not a fan of the cover. It looks super cheesy. It looks much younger than it actually is. And I probably wouldn't have even picked it up. But it does sound kind of interesting. That is... Okay, even the title is cheesy. But it's Totally Rad Wormhole. But let's see. The book says, or the synopsis says, it's 1989 and high school seniors Alex and Roger cannot wait to graduate. High school may be heinous, but they have big plans for adulthood. Then something goes wrong with their science project. It rips open a hole in time, a tunnel to the year 2021. The boys journey into the future to find out how their lives will turn out. But when they meet themselves at their high school reunion, they are not pleased with what they've become and set out to change their fate. And I think it sounds really cute. But yeah, the title, the cover, it all is so cheesy. But the story sounds cute. And then on Fierce Friday, I picked up this one book. And this author was actually supposed to be there and then wasn't. This is Cold by Mariko Tamaki. And this says, this is a story of a boy who died and a girl who wants to know why. Todd Mayer is dead. Now he's some sort of ghost hovering over his body, which has just been found in the town park, naked and frozen in the snow. As detectives investigate Todd's homicide, Todd replays the events that led him to his end in the park. Georgia didn't know Todd, but she can't stop thinking about him. Maybe because they're both outcasts at their school, or because they're both queer. It might also be because Georgia has a feeling she's seen Todd somewhere before, somewhere he wasn't supposed to be. And I think this is going to be really good. It's also pretty short. So it's 228 pages, but in this one, the writing is on the bigger side. So this will also be a quick read. Okay, so those are all 19 books that I acquired this month. Have you read any of them? Did you like them? Did you not? Comment down below and let me know. Well, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, give me a big thumbs up. If you'd like to see more videos like this, click that subscribe button down below. And until next time, remember to always be completely you. Bye.